Alright, gentlemen. It's time. You see, the French have decided to cancel the Louisiana Purchase and reclaim territory that they sold to the United States of America. And the US is not too happy about it. So we have a literal French versus United States scenario here in quote-unquote Louisiana on the map Sugar Lake. I love this. I've said this in the past, you know, there's going to be a lot of meme ops going forward with how the world is right now, and this is right up my alley.
Send in Goat Team 6.
Rome, thanks for the 5-month resub, buddy. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. It'll be a nice kick out of this scenario. But otherwise, looks like French are going to be blue 4. And I'm trying to figure out if we have an op 4 or green 4. Let me tab out and look. If you want to follow along, you can always look at the mission command. And I can... hold on one second. Patch asking me about Pog tonight. We're just making sure that server's all squared away, and then I got to DM some people some info for that might want to go and join us over there for that scenario. Otherwise, looks like blue 4 is the French, and the U.S. Army is op 4. So it's similar to the scenario we had last week with, what, the Greenland invasion? Fun fact about that, by the way, I was told by NASA, my correspondent to OFCRA, that people really liked that mission, and they might turn it into a full-blown campaign, which I'm not going to lie, I'd be very interested in following, just to see if there's going to be a shit ton of friendly fire again like last time. That was just nuts. Regardless, let's go ahead and go over the objectives today since this is OFCRA, and then I'll put the prediction up in a few minutes. But otherwise, there are 3 common objectives. There is a barracks area, which will be cashed in at the 45-minute mark. Trying to find that now. Looks like it's up here, which is interesting because the French forces are spawning opposite, so usually you see those objectives closer to the enemy, but this time they're farther away, maybe because the French are going to potentially go around. But 45 minutes for the barracks location. Again, that cashed out at the 45-minute mark. Then we have an armory captured by the hour mark. That's also worth a single point, and then a command post worth 3 points by the end of the game. Then there is a blue 4 objective around a legionary that is cashed in at the hour 15 mark. It is get the legionary to the hotel before the 1 hour 15-minute mark. So there's 2 zones here. There's a red zone and a blue zone. Otherwise, so let me clarify here. Blue 4 is trying to get him to the hotel by the hour 15 mark. Op 4 is trying to keep him in a prison, which is where he spawns by the hour 15 mark. That is worth 3 points, so literally the same as the command post at the end, so that's a big amount there. And then there's a 2-point survival bonus if you have more than 8 of your side members alive by the end of the game. So that alone is 5 points total, which ties the 5 points of the purple objectives here. So a lot of different ways either side can score in this one. I will go ahead and put a prediction up for you guys to place your bets. I always say, unless you are confident in one side or the other for the sake of memeing, feel free to bet now. But if I were you, I would wait until we get pushed in to see where we're going. I'm going to put this, I'll put it at 20 minutes to give a wide amount of time for people to come in. F this weather, yeah, it's cold. But, I mean, that's winter for you. It finally woke up and decided to be winter in the middle of February, but I'll take it. I like the snow. Nonetheless, based off of what I see on the map, we have a lot of naval markers here, so there's a lot of boats that are going to potentially be in play. I could see the blue 4 French forces coming around and landing on this side and then assaulting from the north. This is Sugar Lake. It's, I think, meant to mimic some Florida territory with the Everglades, so there's a lot of mixes of land and water, and then you have a lot of different oil facilities and platforms and industrial ports. So very nice amphibious style map, and we'll go out and get everything set up on that. Can't let the French retake Louisiana. Ah, man, like I said, it's an interesting gold mine for ops. I mean, politically, everything's effed. We all know that, but at least we can have a good laugh about it. Bloodwing's PC I still need to work on. I got the solid state drive. I need to find some time. Probably after Pog I'll work on it. Gotta turn that new solid state drive into a boot drive and then try to figure out why the whole thing isn't booting. But that should fix it. At least I hope. If not, we'll see what happens. Otherwise, alright. So I think the French are going to have two options here. Technically a third. They could take the boats. They could go around this way. However, you're going to bet that OFCRA is going to find a way to kind of hunker down, probably around the legionary position, and kind of block off that route. The French could go on land and convoy in, probably with whatever ground vehicles they have. Or they can take boats and then do this massive flank around, potentially come up here into Blue Force zone and come in from north to south. I think that's the best option because some of these, I mean, I'm not seeing any map markers to link these positions together, so I don't really see how the French could bring forces around on this side unless they took maybe one of the smaller routes around and then set up a small blocking position out here or an overwatch position just to harass OFCRA forces on that side. And then... yeah, I think this is the most open route they could take of just coming around, dismounting anywhere on this side. I will say for this map, though, this is all massive open area with very, very little room to maneuver. You do have the low beds in the, I guess, tied to the watershed here. But you can see that marked on the map. These do offer a little bit of cover to move up, but I mean, these are just massive open kill zones. So I'd say the best way for Blue 4, funny enough, if they wanted to choose this route, would be a far dismount back here into the forest. Then they can get into some of the more greener pastures here and move up, or utilize this water feature to move up as well. We see that there's a 4-meter elevation here from this side to the other, so not a lot of cover here to work with either. This is going to be a very easy defensive objective for OFCRA, but it's going to be critical to see where they position their forces. We're only sitting at around 115 people today, so it's going to be a smaller OFCRA mission, which is funny to say because it's still, you know, in the hundreds, but that's what, 60 v 60? Little under a 60 v 60, so I'd imagine the number advantage is going to go to Blue 4 there, so we'll probably see a 60 v 54, something along those lines. I think the goal here, though, by the objectives is to pull a bunch of the OPFOR defenders from the front lines to hold security on the rear and try to force them to make a larger net. But at the same time, considering the objectives, if this one is worth 3 and that one's worth 2, I could see OPFOR just making a defensive line or dividing into 2 groups, one holding the north, one holding the south. Blue 4's only hope at that point would be to put all of their forces on a united front and then push in from there. So if Blue 4 can keep all their forces together, I think that would give them an advantage. But at the same time, there are some very thin avenues to move, some very big choke points and bottlenecks here. So I guess, actually, no, you technically would say small. That's only, what, 40 to 50 meters wide there? And that's considering all the space, which, you know, some of that is open ground. So, I mean, if OPFOR could literally just push a force out here and hold these bottlenecks, I don't think OPFOR is going to have much to worry about. So I'd say just on the map alone, not looking at any assets, I say OPFOR has a slight advantage. Actually, not even a slight. I'd say they have a pretty good advantage here with where they can hold Blue 4's assaulting forces. I'd imagine Blue 4 is going to be given some pretty heavy force multipliers to counter that, but we'll wait till we actually push in and see how that goes. The lantern technique that was used. What, are we gonna grab, oh my god, what's his name? The British are coming, right? He'll have 1 or 2 lanterns or something? Or no, it's because he saw 1 or 2 lanterns. One was by land, one was by sea. What the hell was his name? Why am I blanking on it? Paul Revere, that's it. God damn. No, I don't think we're going to see something like that. We're just going to see, I would say, an even OPFOR defense, a utilization of these bottlenecks. Maybe some northern Overwatch areas. Maybe they'll rush a group down here to try to lock down the waterway. There's a lot of potential things OFCRA can do because they usually will commit at least half their forces to the objective, and then sometimes the other half will go on these wild escapades. So we might see just forces pushed everywhere at this point. My real question is, how is this AO going to be attacked? Because that is what's going to make or break the game here. We saw last week the attacking faction did a really, really good job up until a point where it got a little messy for them, but they ended up becoming the defensive faction in the final objective, and then the defensive force had to assault the final area, and they just weren't able to regroup all their forces, you know? So we'll just have to see how this goes. But beyond that, I mean, there isn't much. Op4's got multiple positions where they can, you know, choke point them. Got the first one right here. I don't think they're going to be able to rush out far enough to make this road into a choke point. But we got one right there with a lot of overwatch positions on the side that can overlap and give enveloping fire. Got another one right here with more overlapping positions. Possibly this church can also be a hard point. And then you've got the position right here, which granted you do have some land area where they can come around and potentially swim over, but that's countered by just putting some forces here, some forces here. And hopefully the greenery can work in your favor. If not, they can always dig entrenchments. Life is... well, it has its ups and downs, but I'm doing all right. Hope you are too. No one can live it perfectly. But hey, just play your cards right. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I'm just thinking of the win conditions here, because if Blue 4 is able to get the Legionnaire back, that's 2 points, but then you still have the 5 points back here. So Blue 4 are going to have to do some sort of force split. It's too risky for them to just steamroll forward. And it's also too risky to send everything around on one angle. I guess it would be better if they did that, because they could get rid of all the choke points and just, you know, turn it into this large area, and then you can have some forces overwatching from the other bank. But I guess we'll just have to see. Righto, Ian. Well, I hope it works out for you, man. I just really want to see what the assets are on both sides. I could definitely see some nice bows being given to Blue 4 to help them do maneuvers here. I'll tell you what I don't want to see. I don't want to see any Blue 4 moving down this route, because this is all a kill zone. Op 4 can literally just push a force to the corner and hold anything that comes up here. Maybe we could see a rush maybe into here for Blue 4, but then they still have to maneuver all the way around there. The only reason I would see them do something like that is if they didn't have the transport here to potentially move everything up proper. We have some boats right here as well. They can take that up here, and then they can turn right out of that little area. They could also continue on, come around, and then if they really wanted to avoid detection from Op 4, they can come out here and then dismount on the side. That wouldn't be a bad idea, because that would also negate any potential rushes on Op 4 to come up and cover that corner. So I'm actually not opposed to that type of strategy, because this is only a kilometer in distance. So from here, they could potentially get spotted and engaged, and that would cause Op 4 to send a force potentially here and back here. But if I was Op 4 in this situation, I would put a force here. I'd put a force here. I would put a big force all along here, and I would have a small contingent of forces, something to at least cover this waterway, either tied to the forces here on like one of these corners, and then I would put ground command just smack dab in these compounds, because if I was able to box all those in, I'd be fine. My only blind spots would be here, and then potentially something coming all the way around and doing that far corner. I would just have to hope that they get spotted. But from there, once I identify where those amphibious assaults are, I can either have this force come up and assist that group, or I can have this force fold back and assist that group. I can always take forces from back here, because I don't need that many people to hold that bottleneck. And I can just be very quick to divert anything into any areas to plug gaps.
Oh, we're getting pushed.
And there you go. That's the sound of everyone get moved into the TFAR channel.
Oh.
Let me go ahead and tab out and do a local mute. All right, let's go ahead and cover everything here. So, Blue 4, interesting thing I didn't consider, but this is going to be very critical for them, is they get a helicopter. This can only transport what looks like it's a Huey. No, it's a Griffin. It's a 146, but this can transport about 8 people at a time. They've got an ammo box. They got some pilots with them. That's good. Blue 4, meanwhile, we have a tow launcher vehicle. That's going to be good for giving Overwatch fire. from different angles around. We could see that come all the way over here and then try to engage from the range. We have a 50 cal with that vanilla holographic sight. We've got some GPMGs in play, multiple cars. Is this amphibious or is that just a basic MRAP? That looks like just a basic MRAP with a heating unit on the side. Another 50 cal, but doesn't have that rear gun. And then we have another MRAP with a scoped GPMG. That's going to be very important because scopes in this environment are very, very deadly. Is that a crow system? That's nice. And then we also have an amphibious APC with another crow system on it. These at range can be super dangerous. And we've got some additional MRAPs and transport cars. That's not bad. Then they've got ribs with 50 cals on them. Those 50 cals are kind of useless for combat. They're just meant to kind of dissuade. And then we got 2 STVs, 2 boats, and then some stuff that indicates there might be some naval teams in play. Yep, here we are. So they've got a handful of guys. Their weaponry, we've got some scoped SCAR H's for the marksman rifle. We've got some MGOs for GPMGs. Interesting, but it looks like the majority of the rifles here are going to have the holographic sights on them. Got some AT-4s in play. I also saw some long-range Milan launchers. That's going to be good for, again, that long-range AT capability. We have some AT-4 copies, and we've got some... Oh, this is that French anti-material rifle that they modeled off of the... that they used to model the anti-material rifle in Fallout New Vegas. So that is a 50 cal of some sort. Please correct me if I'm wrong, though. I could be wrong. And it looks like that is it. I think that's an HK-416. So that's what all of their weapons are based off of. And then checking the boats up here, this is 1 gunboat and then 3 8-man RHIBs. Ew, French? Oh, come on. They're not that bad. All right, Blue 4, meanwhile, we have a lot of 50 cals on their weaponry. I am noticing a massive lack of optics on them, though. So these are all iron-sighted. And then we've got a tow Humvee of their own. They have a rescue helicopter. This is a UH-1 that can fit about 8 people. They got pink helmets for their guys. We also have some marksman rifles in play here. They got CCO 68s, red dots on their weaponry here. I believe this is all Coast Guard. Then we got some 203 systems. Wait. Is that mounted through the 203 or above? Wait, how does that work? Because that's a tube. So how is that? First off, this is the longer range one, which is cool, but there's a grip pod in the middle of... Okay, whatever. Arma physics. Doesn't matter. Also, ew, Americans. And then there's a Blue 4 force. What is this, volunteers? Wait a minute. Which side are the civilians on? It's Blue 4 versus Op 4, though. These are Blue 4 guys, right? Yeah. So the French have an insurgency group from Louisiana helping them. Oh, no. Oh, no, no. I thought this was an Op 4 reinforcing force. No, this changes everything in my perception. And they've got rear-mounted guns with another scoped GPMG, a non-scoped GPMG. General purpose machine gun, by the way. And then they have a Milan. Oh, they have a battle bus. Oh my god, that thing is beautiful. They also have a tractor, because why not? And then they got G28. Is that a G28? It's a 20-round general purpose marksman rifle of some sort. Might be a Mark 17. Either way... So this means Op 4 is going to have to only hold the barracks to the north. Blue 4 can send reinforcements around if they want to because they already have that foothold in. Op 4 has to divide their forces here between the barracks area and the choke points to the south. This is actually a lot more balanced now because of that force. Damn. Anyway, I'm doing alright, Iowa. Hope you're doing alright as well. Hope all of you are doing A-okay. And I'm gonna be honest, this is now no longer a slam dunk for OPFOR. They don't have the manpower to send out to risk it being intercepted by insurgency forces. It's just got a lot more interesting. We're gonna have to see how OPFOR splits their force here, and which side has the better control of their optics, because defensive positions are fine, but if you're dealing with accurate crow systems, as long as someone competent is gunning that crow system, then you're fine. But I'm going to be honest, that's rare in PvP, unfortunately. Well, let's look at those bottlenecks I was talking about. So here's the first one. Got a little bit of cover to work with, got a little bit of low ground to work with on the side. So that would also need to be boxed in by positions up here. We've got a burnt out 2-story, which can be used for good cover. And then we have a church, but it's blown out on the back. So these choke points, there looks to be a good chunk of coverable positions from the side of the choke points. However, the risk is if you get pushed very quickly and you don't have time to retreat, you're just going to get boxed in right here. Is that a bridge? Oh, that's not on the map. They bridged these knowing that there were choke points, so now there's a second point that needs to be watched. So OPFOR are going to have need to at least commit 2 to 3 squads to cover the choke points in these open areas to the side. I'm not sure if OPFOR has the manpower for that, considering this is a 70 or 64 v50. And, well, here, let me tab out. Help me with a number divide here. It's 118, so it would be about 60 v60 or 59 v59. So this would probably be a 55 versus 64. 64, 65, 63, somewhere around there. Now, granted, they've got some quad bikes to go quickly, and it looks like they're making that with machine gun teams, marksman teams, everything that they can work with. We got a few magnified optics with those red dots. They're all honking like crazy here. But I'm going to be honest, this game is going to completely depend on how effective the Crow system gunners are on Blue 4. If they're able to do a lot of pickoffs and keep their vehicles out of the tow launcher's way, then they're going to be fine. But if they're unable to take out the OPFOR tow launcher and it's able to snipe those vehicles and take away Blue 4's biggest force multipliers, it's a toss-up. Alright, final notes. Blue 4 is being commanded by, well, it's hard to say, actually. I don't see any dedicated command team. I would say maybe it's Snodge, Pear, Toms, and Fawns for that group, but OPFOR HQ, so that's Neves and his group here. Now, looking at how OPFOR is already splitting off, I think they're doing the best with what they can at the moment. They're sending one squad up to hold that northern position against the QRF force. They're sending another group over on the other side to plug that gap with 6 dudes, and they're sending everything else down to the choke points. I think that is the best play they can make at this point. They're trying to hold from every direction and see what they can do. But look at this. So they brought the battle bus. They brought the rear vehicle with the scope GPMG, and then they also brought the rear Milan launcher. I think out of the vehicles, those were the best ones to pick. Because these big open areas can be very, very good at sniping vehicles. Now we have OPFOR deploying. They're not going to use the first choke point. Instead, they're just going to keep back here. And I'm going to be honest, I do kind of agree with that call as well, because those bridges on the... Hold the phone. When in doubt, check where things exploded. Okay. So a quad bike blew up and eliminated Shay. I see some knocked over poles over here, so it's quite possible he rammed into something, and that something caught his fuel tank and ignited it and killed him. I don't see anyone else dead, so okay. First casualty of war goes to the environment. It wouldn't be a PvP match if there wasn't something like that, though, to be honest. Look at this OPFOR setup here for the barracks, though. So they've got everything covered on the northern side. They're lacking internal security, though, and that does kind of worry me because the internal security is the most important part. Even if they just had their squad leader, like, hunkered down in that spot, that would be enough, but sometimes you'll see the opposite faction just rush right into the objective last second and snipe the points away. It's rare, don't get me wrong, but it happens. And I like this, even though OFCRA doesn't... It's risky to do, but they're still trying to set up that outside security. Oh my god, they gave Blue 4 a mortar. Now, the question is it going to be properly used? Oh, well, we're about to find out. You got the autocannon pre-firing up this route, I think because they're worried OFCRA might have rushed forces up. So they're trying to fire up the road just to deter and suppress any OFCRA that might be up here. Is that the tow launcher? That's the tow launcher. And this is a massive kill zone for the tow launcher. Uh-oh. And that vehicle is destroyed. Looks like it was the 50 cal with the rear gun. Sam is immediately returning fire, and he kills the tow launcher outright. I'm gonna be honest with you, not a bad trade. They lost 4 dudes and a 50 cal Vic. But the 50 cal wasn't the scoped one. They could have also lost their Milan launcher as well. But I mean, the tow could have targeted the APC. I'd say out of that tonnage of trade, I think Blue 4 actually came on top because there were also 2 gunners. Or not 2 gunners, 2 players in the tow vehicle, and there are only 4 in that Blue 4 one, so it doesn't shift the numbers advantage at all. And the loss of the tow is pretty devastating. I think the tow would have been much better played off somewhere across the river, quickly driving around and trying to find good flanking positions after other people found the vehicles as a rush asset. And this is weird coming from me because normally I'm all for them rushing up the road, but that's good to do when you have like a heavy machine gun with a lot of ammo and you can completely annihilate everything. A tow launcher is you fire once, you have to guide it to the target and hold stable. And then it's a really long reload time, so you don't really want to use an asset like that as a rush asset compared to, you know, a heavy machine gun like a 50 cal Humvee where you just rush that down the road and you can annihilate anything that's soft skin. Even the APC would be viable against that. Now, with an autocannon, it's going to counter that very quickly, and there's not a lot of room to maneuver around here, which is what gives those fast attack vehicles a big advantage. Because they can spray you down and just drive away. But here, I mean, it's a long road. But I can see the merit to the strategy. If your opponent is dismounting far and then slowly bringing their vehicles up, you can snipe them with the tow. Don't get me wrong. But I think in this AO specifically, it would have been better. I'm going to be honest with you. Held in reserve. And then brought in as you were goading Blue 4 to come in, like give it to command. And then as your opponent is moving in ground, see if you can find a spot from across the bank here where you could just pull up very quickly, do a launch, and then pull back. Because you don't want to leave it in a static position because your opponent does have multiple ATGMs of their own, you know? But here's where I'm going to back up and say, I do enjoy that it was at least used in a combat fashion, even if it was immediate and it still did score a kill, meaning it was effective. Do I think it could have been utilized better? Yes. But for what we just saw, I think it did a good job. I always want to clarify on that because some people say I'm a bit too stingy when it comes to tactics, but there's... It could have just been completely misused and sniped immediately. We see that all the time in PvP assets, and I don't give it enough credit when they at least utilize it somewhat effectively, you know? It did at least get a kill. And now you've got OFCRA on this little area here. They've spotted some of the Blue 4 elements here. You have Kremet being sniped at. He might be AFK. Oh, now he's realized he's under fire. We got a marksman getting up here. Barros. Looks like he's a hunter. He's trying to look around with his French rifle. He does see a Blue 4 guy, but he gets hit. And I don't think he got that hit on the head there. Oh, please, God, tell me you're taking this. It looks like they accidentally... No, they took off one of the 50 cals and they destroyed one of the assets there. Come on, Kevin, get on the 50 cal. Repel the invaders. That's a shame. Oh, yeah, it's easier in chat, of course. I do appreciate we do have that scoped weapon now being utilized, but Swede wasn't able to get a kill on it. You've got Kevin now looking around trying to find a spot to engage with that 50 cal. Then the other 50 cal's gone. The other broadside weapon's gone. That's a shame. Oh, wow. That was a back-of-the-head headshot there, and the driver's now down. They were trying to orient the gun. 50 cal's now going to go for spray. We need to see someone potentially get on that gun and take people out, but we want to see that Milan staying secure. And then OPFOR is now slowly pushing up. That is an officer with an MP7. That's cute. But yeah, so we've got a few snipers back here. Ah, so he has the magnified optic with the little red dot there, and he's the one that got that first kill. If the Blue 4 resistance group can get eliminated early on, that could allow for OPFOR to fold some forces back. We already do have a flanking force that can potentially come around and assist them. OPFOR, though, I'm going to be honest, this is not... this could work, but I'm also worried about the little flanking force that'll come around. But that's why OPFOR is controlling this bridge area to the south. So I think OPFOR has a decent amount of forces covering this spot. What concerns me, though, is OPFOR can get right up to this berm and pop grenades over, and it's going to be devastating to see the amount of grenades that come over on this spot. And Blue 4, I mean, they're trying to get some forces up here, but there's no, like, thought about maneuvering. They're just holding in place, and this is going to open them up to be grenaded. What I'm worried about is these guys now looking for a way to get over to them, when in reality they should be focusing on grenades, because as soon as they start shooting, you're going to cause a bunch of craziness to happen. One of them should be focusing on running up and popping those grenades over. They're going to try to crawl under the fence. I don't think it's going to let them. But here, if they can't cross over, they need to focus on just getting up here and popping grenades over. So by shooting, there's the grenade. That's gonna kill Callie. Another grenade goes over, that's gonna probably get, nope, he rolls behind the car, so it only knocks his legs out. But they should have opened up with those grenades and then started shooting after like 2 or 3 seconds. Now you've got one of them that, you know, routed a little bit. He tried to go up to get a flanking shot, only to get shot himself by some of the Overwatch. I mean, this is great tactics. The only thing I would tweak is the grenade, but that was clean. No casualties to opt for. That was very well executed. It's just now that they're all, like, scattering, it's going to make grenades less effective. Anything now is going to be a blind throw, but some can still be effective. Now you see some of them shooting at some of the OPFOR members back here. AT gets out. Pogo's fighting with Lenfeld here. And Blue 4's cutting their losses and trying to drive back. I think that was a stun grenade. Very good idea for OPFOR to do that. I would just say open up with those grenades first. That's what I tell everybody when you're in a PvP fight. If you shoot your gun, they're going to immediately hone in on where you are after that, you know, second or third shot. If you throw a grenade, they don't know where that grenade came from. They got to look around for you, and that buys you a few seconds to then open up with your guns, or throw a second grenade if it's needed. But people are going to be clumped up talking together, and if you can place a grenade right where they're all clumped up and talking together, you can do a lot of damage. And then pick off the remaining survivors. You just have to be quick about it. Anyway, we just saw AT fire up on this vehicle. Sounded like an AT-4, and it's down. So, that was a really great, I would say, borderline insurgent. It was a surgical strike. We'll go with that. OPFOR sent a team up, sniped the force multiplier here Blue 4 was using, and now they're pulling back through the C area. And funny enough, I thought it would be Op4 that wasn't going to watch these blind spots, but Op4 used it perfectly to counter Blue 4, who I thought would be using the blind spots to assault. Suffice to say, it's not really looking good for these guys just yet. And you got Op4 now trying to drive, maneuver around to get a flanking action on these forces here. Some of the Blue 4 guys pulled back on that spot. But so far, Op4 is doing a pretty good job. We need to see Blue 4 make some really good actions here, because otherwise it's not going to go well for him. Op4 is GLing the previous position, Blue 4 is GLing the previous Op4 position here. Op4 is quickly maneuvering away. There was an exchange here. Nuzzy got knocked out. Jamero's throwing some grenades and spraying with his mini-me. But Op4 is going to be able to break away here. It's going to be clean. Now we could see these guys try to open up. We have some long-range suppressive fire in here, but again, Op4 sticking to the super low ground and disengaging from that fight. Very clean, very good call. That's from the 23rd PZD. I don't see them. I've never seen them make tactics like that in OFCRA before, so that's great. A lot of room here for some really good tactical use here. And let's also look at Blue 4's positioning. We have the insurgent group up here that's been kind of left to dry. Only 2 guys remain in the group, 4 pulled back. That truck might go up to try to pick them up next. We got some SVDs in play, but it's going to take them forever to get up into the AO and deploy. We have a helicopter moving out with it's just the pilot and co-pilot. So they might try a false LZ or something to fake Op4 out, but Op4 already has a strong force on the north. And then the southern, it's a little weaker, but they're properly using them on the choke points. Blue 4, meanwhile, have a big amount of force watching the hotel area. And what concerns me about that is I'm not sure if they realize they need to capture the VIP first, who's being held in this area. Yeah. So if they spend way too many forces trying to defend an objective that they don't even have the manpower to, go out and complete, usually you would take this force, assault the objective, and then pull back and hold defensive with it instead. So I think Blue 4 is in a position here where they're going to defeat themselves in detail because maybe they misunderstood the objective, and that's what's going to cost them. Defso coming up with another guy to try to set up on the battle bus, but it looks like there's no one on the guns. Maybe they're trying to bait Op4 to shoot them with AT or something, but they wouldn't be able to get the AT through the fence, and that would just kill them, so weird. Got the Op4 helicopter flying overhead. You've got Kremet now pulling back with the Milan launcher. He isn't up-armored like that battle bus, though. Shots are going a little short, though. I think Kremet's going to be able to get out of here fine. Vehicle did take down. Oh! He got, yeah, back of the head headshot. The glass broke. It's because I think he started going at a straight angle, and that made it easier for Op4 to lead the shot and actually take him out with a headshot there. That was brutal. We do have 2 SVDs here. One with a group of 4, one's a group of 2, so that's 6 people. I could see... Oh, it's going to be luck if they're effective, because they don't have anyone really overwatching these spots here. They know that there was a firefight here. Maybe they had Blue 4 come up to this position to try to spot for a dismount point for these SVDs to come up, but I don't think it's going to be that effective. But here we're seeing the power of the Crow system now. WikiQuartz is trying to make one of the Op4 guys pull away, and he succeeds in that. But you can use those Crow systems, those are the 50 cals with the camera, to basically zoom in and just headshot people with the 50 cal. They're not going to walk away from that. How you doing, Rome? Op4 have reached their fallback position, so they're going to hold in this blown out building and watch the low ground here in the road. But Blue 4 is down to that 1 Crow system as the force multiplier. They've lost a majority of their insurgent force. Now they're over-prepared on the northern side, so I see Op4 getting a quick, easy 5-point sweep on the north. I don't see how Blue 4 can score, because they're not even setting up these forces here to go and take the Legion position. So it could be a perfect score for Op4 at this rate, unless we see some Blue 4 tactics change. Looks like they found Nuzzy, and they're going to start doing medical on him. Brig, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, they're picking off the driver there to make sure he stays dead, but I'm not sure if these guys have a way to break through this fence to get into this compound. We do hear the helicopters moving around. Not sure if Dennis is AFK. I'm looking for the Blue 4 helicopter now. So they're flying overhead. They could potentially scout a position, because that's a 146. I think it has a camera. Yeah, so they could use that front camera to try to figure out where to guide the SVD teams to dismount. SVDs could be a really great way for Blue 4 to bypass defensive lines if they were to dismount on the rear of these Op 4 positions and then wreak havoc. Even wipe a group. But we need to see all Blue 4 forces start going on the offense here. There's no reason to hold any in reserve at the moment. We see that with this group here, and then these guys, I guess, are being held in reserve because they're worried about these choke points. What kind of concerns me, we see that these guys are swimming, and they've got the Crow system overwatching them. That's not a bad call, but we could see more, like, you know, the guys back here basically also overwatching for these guys, and then as soon as the Blue 4 guys get and then set up a position, they can secure the bridge, and the other team can, you know, move around. I'm not 100% sure if this bridge can take the vehicle. Looks like it's too thin. So that forces the vehicle to have to go up the road there, but they've got Blue 4 moving up on it. One Blue 4 member moved up the road in the open and got taken out. Henry trying to return fire. Doesn't get the kill. Now you got a firefight here in the tree, the elephant grass. Op 4 actually folding off of this position. I'm going to be honest, I actually agree with that call. They are just going for attrition at this point. So if they can keep everyone alive and occasionally get a pickoff or two, that's the one risk you do, though, is you might get shot in the back as you try to pull away, especially if you don't use concealment like smoke. I'd say this wasn't a bad defensive position, but at the same time, it did let your opponent get really close with the elephant grass. Then with a few nice placed frags, you'd be dead in there anyway. So I think Op 4 Echo does have some really good cohesion. 1 second. Bloodwing came home early, so I'm just, you know, welcoming her home. But I'm still sticking with you guys for now. But Op 4 here, great cohesion. Maybe they're going to try to see if they can get some good overwatch positions from this church area. But, I mean, right here is a great kill zone. Big open areas, not a lot of concealment for people to work up on. You have a team right here still looking down the road. And then this blind spot, you can also overwatch from this spot right here. And then you've got, you know, this route that you're also locking down. You can have an Op 4 group come by and also assist you from the coast. And that does lessen the area where these SVDs can come over because you do have this little... I have no idea what this is called. It's not an atoll. But either way, Blue 4 is running out of positions where they could potentially dismount those SVDs. Blue 4, meanwhile, they've folded forces back here. Do they still have their marksman? No. Well, okay, they have one of them, Depso, right here. And then they got this other guy on the 50 cal looking around. They did just take a shot. I'm wondering if these guys, yep, watching with their marksman here. He's trying to get the gunner off of that 50 cal, but then he's quick to fold back if he misses the shot and stay concealed. That's actually not a bad idea. What I'm concerned about is how this firefight's going to go. If Op 4 are folded off of this position, that means their flank is going to be exposed. Blue 4 could then punch through and hit these positions, as well as potentially go for the legionary, and then we could see a two-pronged assault, and this mission could then go back into Blue 4's favor. And that's a lot riding on one squad. They need to be reinforced, but because these guys were fighting the insurgency group, the only good way to reinforce would be from the units down here. Up by the barracks, so they would need to fold at least one squad down. Or they're just really relying on Echo here. Don't get me wrong, they've had great cohesion, but look at where they've positioned themselves. We're going to have some pretty nasty CQC, and it's going to come down to whoever throws the grenade first. Then we have some Op 4 back here, but they're being enveloped. And I'm not sure they realize that yet. Well, the color scheme is subjective, Archangel. Similar to how, you know, if you load up IFA, the Germans are blue for, the US is green for, and the Soviets, I think they're the ones that make the most sense. They're the op for, they're the reds, you know? Alright, so we just saw the scout there get blown away. A grenade went by, killing one of the Op 4 members. Another grenade went, but didn't get any of the Blue 4. We do have some shots going around back here, as this team is now trying to cut forces off. More grenades going off. That is actually being a bit more damaging to Blue 4 trying to assault. Up on this position as Op 4 being very quick to fold away. You got these guys now breaking off. Little bit of Overwatch cover from the far rear, but this Echo team for Op 4 is actually taking a lot more attrition damage now. They are having a little bit of support, but it's not going to be enough. Plus, these two SVDs are about to come right up to this guy, which is going to make things interesting. Another Op 4 player gets knocked out. He's going to end up drowning in the Everglade there as Will pulls away underwater. And now that is just a four-man team, and they need to be reinforced. SVDs, I'm waiting to see one of them pull up their periscope. You can see the antenna coming up now. Looks like they're going to do a dismount blind. Do they have their Blue 4 helicopter up to give them info? No, so they're just going for it. Very risky. It's going to work out for them because they are on par with the Blue 4 element here, but these guys aren't able to communicate with them from underwater. So multiple knockouts on the Blue 4, the Op 4 side there. They're down to 3 people now. Blue 4 advancing with 7. Long range AT was just fired. Looks like, okay, so it was Op 4 here doing multiple AT shots. One of them might have backblasted themselves. They were hitting the MRAP, and they at least hit it once because we're seeing no crew indicator on it. Trying to look for the symbolism of it. It's not that one. So it was Wiki, Quartz, and Skipu. Wiki was the gunner. The round would have penetrated and then deaded inside. Interesting that, yeah, so he died, but he's fine. Neat. But now you got Blue 4 starting to move forces on that position. Hold on a minute. Ah, so they were using this bridge to cross. Interesting, I didn't think it would actually fit them, but hey, if it works. So Crow vehicle's been maneuvered back. Op 4 might be out of AT, so they're not able to pick things off. We saw another Op 4 member get taken out. Multiple dropped AT4s here. Giovanni's knocked out as Nubas comes along the flank. And now you got this Op 4 holdout group that's going to stall some of these infantry, leaving enough room for this Op 4 force to potentially hold this area, unless they pull away. Hard to tell what's going on right here. Got this 1-1-3 with 5 people now moving up. Potentially relieving Echo. We have someone that just woke up after being knocked out. And you've got the dive teams now moving in. It's a group of 6. Could wreak some havoc from the sides. Everything is so disjointed right now. Op 4 doesn't have any unified lines here. They're just isolated pockets. Same with Blue 4. They're trying to do some unified assaults, but Op 4 is making that difficult. So again, this could go either way right now. Advantage was earlier in Op 4's favor, but they weren't able to reinforce that critical point where Blue 4 was coming from, and now we have this long-range fight. We just watched a Op 4 member get taken out. Nubas is trying to put some smoke out to see if he can get his buddy up. That's a lot of smoke. I mean, that's the right way to use smoke, but good God, he doesn't realize that he's dead. That's the sad part, but maybe he's going for the machine gun. The 249. To at least loot that. That would be a good call. He got some suppressive fire now coming out. Nubas immediately pulls away because he hears the shots clicking all around him. Rest of his guys are over here licking their wounds. Blue 4, meanwhile, we have a 4-man strike team on the side. Op 4 trying to set up and exchange fire. I think PHK is actually firing on Op 4 members over there. Bit of misidentification. A little bit of Echo moving back. And then you've got that 1-1-3 moving around. Then you still got Blue 4 with their dive team moving in right here. Looks like they're just watching from afar. I think Nubass pulled back. Yep. He was able to get the 249 though. All right. Scufu now engaging from a different angle here. You got some of the Blue 4 guys still pushed up right here, but look at where Op 4 is. If Blue 4 lined up some shots, they could actually do some serious damage to the garrison right here. Look at all the people exposed. Question is Masano going to turn around and see him? I think, did NASA just point him out? No, they wouldn't be right here then. It looked like that they were pointing them out, though. I'm waiting to see it. They're doing medical. You see them messing with their radios here. I'm waiting to see them coordinate the shot. 2 guys above, 2 guys below. There's 4 of them. They could easily... There it is. NASA able to turn the corner. They start working on the guys above. Take out 1, take out 2. 3 for 4 is not bad. That was a great call there. So great ambush by Blue 4. Now we've got Op 4 turning heads. This is now a 4v4 situation. Looking at the map back at Blue 4, we do have some Op 4 folding in. But we still have the dive team around. Op 4 trying to come around here to do a flanking shot. Yeah, now they're going to wait them out, and Blue 4 doesn't really have a way to maneuver up on this side because Op 4 have some really good positions just to watch that area. So these guys, if they try to advance, they're going to get screwed. But that is now relieving this force to potentially come up and assist. Meanwhile, back here, look at what Op 4 has done. We have a really, but a really good place. GL knocked out one of those hard points that Op 4 had. And now we've got the rest of this Op 4 team over here trying to engage from across this little lake here. But we have this dive team laying in wait. They're surfacing, trying to look around. We do have that 113 back here as well. I wonder if they're going to swim back and try to ambush right behind that group. That would be the best use of them. But let's see. They are going to make that call. Oh, I saw them all move in that direction. I got excited for a second. All right, so this vehicle was finished off, so now there's no more Crow systems for Blue 4 to utilize, so there goes their force multipliers. This could really go either way at this point. Op 4 still have a big chunk of forces in reserve. Blue 4 also a small group in reserve. So the numbers are still on Op 4's favor, but Blue 4 might be able to turn that around with some really well-placed ambushes. They're coming around. Wonder if Will's going to try to do some medical here. It's hard to say. Blue 4, though, I appreciate the caution of these guys. I think they're waiting for that dive team to potentially kick things off. Gerald's about to get screwed here. So hard. I'm waiting to see it. That was messy because he was hitboxing into the ground there. Grenades are going to go in because they're throwing him blind. Not the best flank to do, but at the same time, they don't have a choice. So at least they were able to get one knockout. They're now stalling with grenades. AT coming out. Flip for Flap's going to hit the 113 to disable it. Delta gets blown away by a grenade. Jonathan immediately gets that snipe. Got an Op 4 helicopter in the air, so this 113 is not going to be able to move now because the engine's been shot out. And now you got the remaining force stuck up here, and Blue 4 has a straight shot to advance into the Legion captive area. 32 minutes in, still plenty of time for that objective. However, this is going to be cashed in another 13 minutes, and you're probably going to see these forces fold back and cover the armory, and that's going to bring them a little closer together. Yeah, so they immediately went into the water. That's the smartest thing they can do because now they can hide and make this group freak out over what hit them. They're going to think they got flanked. DeFoe actually woke back up. He might be able to tell them that that was a dive team that just hit him, and these guys can just swim away. Really great ambush group. Looks like everyone on that other OPFOR area was eventually pushed because they lacked the support from that Overwatch element there, so they were wiped. And then you got these four, Blue 4, they did the smart thing. They pulled away knowing that that was an open kill zone. Now they're trying to find another angle in as OPFOR set up a defensive line for that open area, giving more time for Blue 4 to maneuver around and start enveloping that position. Really good small-scale tactics there. OPFOR, meanwhile, this group is only down to 2. And I'm trying to see where some of them got picked off. Looks like there's a new body right there. Looks like Blue 4 attempted to push this position with some guys, and they took heavy losses. But we need to see this force now continue up and assist with the taking of that objective. Looks like they're sending a 2-man team to try to finish this off. But at this point, if you're going to commit to one, at least bring the entire force in. One or the other, because sending small groups just risks it to be defeated in detail. And you don't want to slowly get your force sniped off. We just saw an AT round come in. I don't know if that was OPFOR firing something or what. Oh, I see. So we've got a Moz position up here by OPFOR. That's Wombat. And he's trying to snipe at some of the positions of the tall grass in here. It's not a bad idea. It's just he's having a little bit of trouble ranging his shots here. He can't seem to see where Blue 4 is, so he's firing blind. Down to the south, we still have some Blue 4 picking off members of OPFOR over there. More AT shots being fired. Again, AT's a really great AoE shock weapon if you're aiming for a small area. And that elephant grass, if you can aim dead center, is a good area to hit with Moz rounds. Even if you don't kill, it's definitely going to do some damage. Blue 4 now crossing through that open area because they're trying to push up to get these guys, but they're taking fire from that Overwatch position. Watchtech runs into the water here. Doesn't realize how deep it is. Now he's trying to come over. Alexander runs back to cover. Those three are still all right. But here's another thing. Blue 4, again, they have to move on this quick because in another 10 minutes, you're going to have all this OPFOR force come down to the armory because the barracks will be cashed out at the 45-minute mark. I find it interesting. We have Depso taking the rest of those Creole, that civilian insurgency group. They're down here and still putting pressure on OPFOR to at least keep them pinned in that spot. Looks like OPFOR got a little greedy here and decided to push the Blue 4 group here. Rigel's trying to find a flanking spot, gets a kill. Double tap Spirit. These guys have no idea where they're getting shot from, and Rigel immediately pulls away. If Rigel had a grenade... Ooh. There it is. Oh, the roll! Delano gets down. I think Rigel's going to wipe this entire group. 3 kills. Rigel guns up. He could go up the stairwell, get some elevation on him. He does. Delano has no idea because he wasn't looking up. He should have still seen that. Maybe he was busy in his medical menu thinking he was safe. But little bits of aggression like that are always good calls. Oh, but Rigel goes up into the open area and Skipu immediately knocks him out. Still, 4-1. That ain't bad. Really good response time there, but look at this. We have 3 people in the zone and 4 people assaulting it, and I'm still waiting to see this element push. I don't know if they're pulling security to make sure that they can grab the objective and pull them back, but I feel like there needs to be more forces being aggressive here because it's just small forces versus small forces, and it just risks so much defeat in detail. It's my favorite term to use in PvP. Because when you have macro fights of, 50v50, 60v60, and you only see, 3-man groups fighting other 3-man groups, makes you wonder where the rest of the squad is. But that's also because of this map. You're limited to small engagements because of the terrain. So where's the strike team? The strike team's back here, the scuba divers. They're down to 4. And they're not really in a position to assist at the moment. It looks like they're turning around to potentially try. Because, yeah, Blue 4 kind of stuck in this little kill zone that OPFOR is salvaging here in this situation. We see them trying to pop some smokes here. Watch Tech's watching from the other direction. GL's going back and forth. Meanwhile, we've got some machine gun fire going down. Marty gets knocked out. AT goes in on response. Looks like that went over everyone's head. Demovar getting pushed by Skipu. And Skipu had a bad knockdown where his head was still exposed, and Demovar was able to get him despite being knocked down himself. If your opponent's trying to run back into cover, hit them in the leg, they'll fall over. Usually they'll then turn to try to hit you, and then you can just hit them in the face. Yes, this is one life. It started off with about 138 people, I think. We're definitely beyond half of that, though. But OFCRA every week has a 90-minute PvP match, anywhere from like 120 to 240 people. And they, from a Europeaner's perspective, definitely come up with some really interesting scenarios. Are they always balanced? No, but I appreciate covering them nonetheless. This one, I would argue, was leaning the defenders with a really big crutch on if the Blue 4 faction could utilize their assets effectively. That wasn't really the case, but we're seeing some really great utilization of some of their other force multipliers, like the dive team here. These guys are doing a great job with ambushing because this is all devolved into small unit tactics. And you still have that hard point suppressing these guys, so I think Gargan's going to get ambushed here. As these guys are now, I think, going to go probably up here and then try to ambush from the other way. These guys aren't going to move at all because they're pinned on that position. And then Blue 4 is slowly pushing OFCRA off of the legionary position so they can capture the VIP and then move him to the hotel and get those 2 points. We're going to have a point cash in 30 seconds for the single point at the barracks position, which we have an OFCRA member there, so at least they will score that point. But the legionary force, our insurgents for Blue 4, are starting to move up the coast. They're not going to be able to get in time for that barracks area, but they might be able to put pressure on the other 2 objectives and cause OFCRA to keep some of their forces there, thus leaving them divided. So it looks like Blue 4 finally smoked out this position. Now they're starting to move around and assault this area. We're about to have these guys come out and ambush, but there's no way for these guys to coordinate with those guys because they're underwater. I will say, though, because of this terrain, the response times of both sides for certain things have been very, very quick, and that's really rare to see, because OFCRA usually does a lot bigger AOs, and they space their forces out a lot farther. Oh, I think Gargan hears them moving around him, but he literally is walking right past some Blue 4 here without realizing it. It's very important when you play PvP with this type of CQC that you listen. What I'm worried about is these guys. Oh, he hears the ramp going, and he knows that's not him. Buddy, throw a grenade. Or use the AT on it. In this scenario, I'd literally get in the tall grass, and I'd just start popping grenades and going prone. Because you know there's people next to you. You're the only one left alive in your group. That was not a friendly. Did he just snipe the dude in the back of the face? That's funny. Is Alexander now going to come out, hearing that gunfire? No, he's looking the wrong way. He's like, huh? Was that one of us? Did we get him? I would say you can tell someone's skill at Arma with how they handle CQC situations like this. Someone aggressive like Falcon, Zixme, any run from PLH or Scandi Recon, they would be super aggressive in here, popping nades, having their weapon on full auto, running up to people and hitting them in the face point blank, and maximizing on that confusion. Most players, though, are a lot more cautious. Like Gargan. He doesn't know where his enemy is. He knows there's people around him because he just shot that guy in the head and he has no idea. But when you are in these CQC situations, you can only really focus on what's in front of you. Is that probably going to get you killed? Yes. But at least you can take out quite a few with you. Now look at this. Blue 4 assaulting with their main force. They just took out one of the OFCRA guys in that zone right there. We still have 2 guys on the side. Rigel woke back up. Still on 4 kills. Has his AT-4 out. He's lining up an AT shot on the vehicle. Takes it out. That was the armored car. He is now on 5 infantry kills and 1 vehicle kill. Ash, meanwhile, on the side, prepping some AT. Could get an angle on this attack car here. Rigel, I think he's trying to fire through the stairwell there. Unable to find a shot. He's going for the head. 1 bullet knocks the damage texture on that. Interesting. Heartseer now trying to look around to find an angle on these guys. But we see some flanking shots from all the way over on the side there. And then we still have that op for Overwatch. Oh, they've abandoned it. Major Khan's now back here trying to fire through these doorways. Interesting. Cook off from the vehicle. Rigel in a bit of trouble here as Maxek's trying to flank him. He flanks, moves right. Avoids the vehicle. Rigel's got to be careful, though. If I was in his shoes, I would have hoped he looted some grenades from those dead 4 enemies there. He's pushing. He's got the GL out. He's ready to noob tube. Maxek might spot him. He does, but Rigel moves away. Rigel gets spotted head first. Maxek unable to land a headshot there. Oh, see, and then Rigel's being super aggressive, but in these open areas, that's a death sentence. Heartseer not looking. Maxek runs in. They spot each other. Rigel gets knocked prone. I can tell by the movement of the symbolism. Heartseer just spraying. He doesn't know what's going on. He's stolen a 416, though, for audio ID. That's smart. Because those 416s are definitely making a different gun sound than your standard blue 4 M4s. Rigel gets the kill on Heartseer there. He's reloading on 6. Maxek being super cautious moving through here. He's looking for Rigel. He's going to find him. Oh, Rigel's doing medical. And Maxek heard the little medical clicks there and immediately ran up and took him out. Ash might have seen this vehicle coming around, but the 50 cal is going to spray. I just spit out my drink. Oh my god. I was just like, okay, he's gonna suppress. I completely forgot Ash had an AT4. And he just... Alright, well anyway, this AO is mostly clear. They gotta grab the Legionary out of here and move him to the hotel by the hour 15 mark. They got plenty of time for that. Meanwhile, you have a Blue 4 assault back here. And it should have been the 45-minute mark by now. Which would be cashed in at, what, like 52, 53? So, we have a Blue 4 assault trying to come up here, but Op 4 is still holding this position. Got a 50 cal on an MRAP firing up. And these guys don't really have a chance because there's not a lot of room to maneuver. There's not a lot of cover to move up. There it is, the 45-minute mark. That's only worth a single point, though. So now this Op 4 group, they're going to try to clear out this Blue 4 element and then pull back. But this is giving Blue 4 time to push from the other direction, but they're not really in a position to do that. This team now down to about 4 people. I think there were 5 going in. Yeah, because Depso went up here and got taken out. Timex, okay, so there were 7. Looks like a few people came in and reinforced them, probably dropped off by their helicopter. They might have been the helicopter crew, as a matter of... Oh, no, we see them back there. Yeah, they're just doing a long range. I think they're trying to help guide this force to get the VIP back to the hotel area. Not Op 4 hotel, mind you, but the marked Blue 4 hotel area there to cash in that Legionary because he's worth 2 points. They're probably going to load him in a vehicle and just drive him back and over those bridges. And then we've got Gazog knocked out up here, but Nuzzy has moved up. He might have gotten the kill on this member right here, or it was picked off earlier. And then we've got 2 members of the dive team back here, and then Lolo met up with Alexander, and they were able to clear the rest of the Op 4 from that spot. Op 4 does not have a lot of infantry here. Their best bet to win is to go for the U.S. Armory and Command Post and hold those for the rest of the game. Blue 4 is going to get the 2 points from the VIP, and then it's another point for the Armory. That'll tie up the game if Op 4 gets it, and then the Command Post is worth another 3, I believe. So, if Op 4 can just tighten their hold, I think they'll be okay, but they're very spread out right now. Granted, so is Blue 4, but Blue 4, I think, have a lot less people on the ground. Well, not a lot less, but less people on the ground. Ah, I see what they're going to do. I think they're going to land the helicopter and pick up the VIP with that. The question is, do we have an Op 4 player in the zone that can potentially stop them? These guys, I think, already expunged their AT, though. They could run onto the scaffolding. Nubass does have a machine gun. If he could get on this and then prone the weapon, he's going to run up to this little corner and hit him. Bullets are getting caught into the ground. The texture's not doing anything. Oh, no. The bullets weren't going over the little burn. No. Nubass gets picked off. Aw, oh, poor Nubass. He literally got cucked by the texture here. All of his machine gun bullets, according to the tracers, were getting absorbed right here. Oh, that is like the shittiest situation you can be in, where tactically you have it locked down, you're ready to get a multi-kill, you have the equipment, and then Arma just takes it away from you. God. I can't believe I'm saying this, but can we get an F in chat for Nubass? Pay your respects to someone getting absolutely fucked by the game mechanics. Oh, ripperoni. I am a streamer. I do have to be a little cringe here and there, all right? Overdrive, meanwhile, locking down the remaining Blue 4 players here. We have a pick-off. They're down to 3. Pogo's run up. He's trying to get a flanking shot on some of the OFCRA guys here. Looks like Ram woke back up. Kevin was working on him because Kevin is dressed up as a medic. And Dennis almost gets his head picked off by Overdrive. Just stay frosty. Thanks for the sub, buddy. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Blue 4, meanwhile, moving up. And we'll see if they can maneuver in and hit these positions. OPFOR still relatively... I need to do a head count here because I actually don't know who has the advantage at the moment in terms of numbers. So let's do that real quick. We have 1... I'm trying to see if there's a... Okay, there's 2 names in the helicopter. So 2 in there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12... 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20... 25, 26, 27. Blue 4, meanwhile, have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So OPFOR have a 4-player number advantage at the moment. But again, everyone's so spread out, it's hard for either group to really congeal and have a number advantage. Blue 4 has the biggest one, though. And if OPFOR doesn't bring that northern force down to reinforce, because they're just trying to wipe the rest of the force here, Blue 4 could rally and just sweep through the remaining OPFOR garrison there and win. Because there's a big chunk of OPFOR's force still up here, and they're only being tied down by 3 Blue 4 dudes. 50 Cal's now driving up to do some minor suppression here. Is Ash going to... Ash might actually try to get to the hotel area and stop it. It's a massive AO, though, but it'll turn into a 2v1. And he's got, like... It's cashed out at the hour 15 mark, but there was 8 minutes to safe start, so that's the hour 23 mark. He's got 23 minutes to go and do it. That's possible. If he singles the objective, that is more than possible. Shay's trying to run around to find a new angle. We have a little bit of a spot right here. Nazi's firing from above. And OPFOR is doing their best to now pull their forces down. They want to hold this bottleneck, but they also want to hold the objectives, which is why we have this hard point right here. And it's not a bad spot. They got some rooftop coverage. They have a marksman with it. A machine gun would also really help them hold these open areas here. Blue 4 could flank around using that little piece of land and then going all the way around if they want to avoid it. They still have the time to do something like that. We've got little wooden crossings here as well. There's just a lot of distraction because of these Blue 4 guys up here. It's keeping a lot of Op 4 at bay. But we need to see Op 4 unitedly push that position. It's still too close to call at the moment because either side could rally and take these remaining positions. Even if Ash is successful in winning that 2v1, this is worth 4 points. Because I don't think Ash could then kill them and then bring the VIP all the way back for those 2 points there. These two Op 4 coming from the rear, though, that is what I'm worried about for this Blue 4 team. Because as soon as they sweep down, kill those 3 Blue 4, these guys can all then rally and then come down here. I think Blue 4 is flaring the helicopter to just try to pull any attention that they can. And they don't want to risk getting too close because they might get engaged and shot down by the 50 cal. I think the dive team's coming up here to check on this position, not realizing that the VIP's been moved. Maybe the VIP mark being here is confusing them. Ash has found a car, and he's moving back. He's either going to go around, try to solo that, or he's going to try to get behind Blue 4 positions and confuse them and then shoot a few in the back of the head. Both not bad calls. Yeah, so as soon as these guys surface, they need to check in with their command structure and be told the status of Blue 4 at the moment. Looks like he's going to move over. Okay, 2 points are going to be here for Blue 4. It's going to be 1 to 2, and it's just going to rely on these final positions. However, at the same time this position is cashed in, Op 4 is going to get a point for being in the armory, so it'll be 2-2. So whoever controls the command post by the end and potentially has the survival bonus of having at least 8 of their members alive by the end of the game, that's going to change everything. Actually, no, that's a 2-point versus the U.S. command post, which is 3 points, so whoever has the command post is going to win this one. If it ties off. We have another Blue 4 knockout. And Op 4 are still combing this area. I hope he radioed this in because he might get hit by some chucklehead with AT here. Okay, he puts it away after realizing his 50 cal wasn't shooting at it, and Killer J was able to put logic on that. All right, good call. So I was waiting for some Op 4 guy to hit him with an AT stick or something. So interestingly enough, we got Blue 4 now moving around. Did Lolo or Shay snipe the pilot? I don't know who killed the pilot. Because this isn't... The Op 4 one is a UH-1. This is the Blue 4 one, so who shot the gunner? I'm waiting to see if Lolo's going to wake up and try to AT it. He might be out of ammo, though. What? Okay. Where did Shay die? Because I have a feeling Shay might have been the one that took it out. Yeah, he was up here. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I can't comment on something I genuinely don't know, and that's I don't know. That happened. All right. Meanwhile, it looks like Op 4 pushed this area with these 2 members of NR. We have 1 kill and 3 kills, so they were able to sweep the rest of these guys. Hopefully that means everyone here is going to mount that vehicle and come down and reinforce. And then Blue 4 might just get stuck on this little kill zone here, and that's probably going to be game. In Op4's favor, potentially by 1 or 3 points. Final score is either going to be, well, it could be 3 different things, but all of them are in Op4's favor, so. I love how this quad bike got blown up right here, and now it's being utilized as cover. This was from the very beginning of the game, and we're still here with it. We could see the dive team go into the water and try to make a flanking action, but time is ticking away. The game ends at the 1:38 mark, which means Blue 4 only have about 32 minutes left to really do anything. I think that's enough time. If these guys were to immediately rush up, get in the water, and start swimming, they could open a flanking action here, but getting to the compound would be pretty close. They could probably still do it within 5 to 10 minutes, but they'd have to act on it immediately, and sometimes it takes a hot second for units to maneuver, like what we see up here. These guys, they sweep this area. They're going to probably sweep it 1 or 2 more times to make absolute sure there's no Blue 4 remaining, but then they need to mount up and go. Because otherwise, Blue 4 might have a slight number advantage on this front and be able to capitalize on it, but at the same time, that's unlikely. We need to see Blue 4 pull away, get into the tall grass and the flanking areas over here. If they get into the low ground, they just cross the waterways. They can then get into the low ground right here and then choose their crossing point. They can move all the way up here, for example, do a smoke rush. That would announce themselves, but that would clean up their ability to move over. Plus, we still have the Op4 helicopter running reconnaissance, so Blue 4 just need to maneuver, but if they keep trying to move up this position like where Nuzzy's going, there's not really going to be a lot they can do about it. You're giving another F for Lolo and his disconnect. All right, there's the 1 hour objective for the armory. I thought that was cashed out at hour 15, my bad. So 15 minutes till this is cashed in, but this one's done. Op4 are now at 2 points. Now they just have to hold the command post. All the more reason these guys should mount up and move back in. That's a +2, so there's 3 people in that helicopter and they're flying. Why 3? 3 is not enough to assault, but 3 is 1 more than the 2 people that would be in there to hold that. So maybe they're testing deals? That's a weird choice of people to put in that helicopter. Because you would think they put like 8 or 6 people in there to move a squad quickly, but why? Maybe it's the commander? So it's Pingus and then 2 elements of Berthy here. Maybe, yeah, because they have... Well, no, Snodge pairs the commander. Weird. Now you're seeing these guys are going to try to move up on this angle, but look at this. Where can they go from here? The divers could do something, but are they up here? Hard to say. They're still back there in the corner. Trying to see, it looks like Op4's finally mounting everyone into this vehicle, and they're going to move them along down into the command post. Because this is 9 people. That is more than enough to set up a final defensive position on the command post itself. I don't know. And then Blue 4, they're going to have to at least have the helicopter still intact enough to go and grab the hotel people. But they've opted to put the helicopter out here. What's out here, though? I mean, we did have some of the Blue 4 insurgentists come out here. Okay, no, that's their helicopter. I was trying to track that noise, like, what's going on? But, yeah, no, the helicopter's just circling them. And they're abandoning the helicopter to run up here. Is there maybe the Blue 4 force to the north stashed a vehicle over here for them to use? Otherwise, why wouldn't they just go all the way to the north at their spawn point? There's some very interesting calls being done here, and I'm struggling to comment on them properly because I'm trying to wrap my head around it, and I can't see the logic. Then you have these guys still staying here. They've got like 1 or 2 people coming out to try to set up. Oh, is that the anti-material rifle? Yes. Load it with some explosive rounds. Go kill some Deathclaws with it. If you understand that reference because of that gun, I applaud you. Go take Benny out for me. Get the platinum chip. Dragging a body back, because I guess one dude just got sniped. He did have the Scar H there, so that's the marksman rifle for him. You got Nuzzy that's moved up on his own here. He's trying to get some pickoffs on the guys on top of this building. Now you got the 9 from this vehicle. It's probably going to dismount 7 and keep at least a driver and a gunner. But, I mean, yeah, they're just going to go right onto the command center, and that's it. It's right here. It's GG. Blue 4's not going to be able to move up without taking significant losses from this side. We could see the divers move around, but 25 minutes remaining. That's a big swim. They could move up. That's another swim. But to do that, it's about 1.5 kilometers straight shot, but swimming across, moving up, and then swimming across again. That's going to at least be a 20-minute maneuver. And that time is not left in the game. And then these 3, I don't know. But then they're going to get stuck by the perimeter fence. And the only way through that is the north. So I don't think they realize it, but they're stuck in here for the rest of the game. Do they have any explosives? Maybe. They could use their AT-4 on it. No, they can't because Grishowski just lagged out. Oh, no. I cast a curse their only way out of this place. Oh, no. I think it's GG. Unless we see some sick-ass Arizona Ranger stuff with this anti-material rifle, you know, sniping members of Caesar's Legion back there, I don't see how Blue 4 can make this one. Don't get me wrong, they're going to get the 2 points from the legionary guy they captured. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Maybe this is a lot more Fallout New Vegas than I thought, but either way. Yeah, so it looks like they're just going to swim up the coast. Maybe they could open up a flank, but they'd have to challenge this position, and that risks them taking casualties because this is all open area, and that's a bit elevated. They'd have to then assault from a different angle, which, again, risks casualties. Like, I don't think there's any good play Blue 4 can make at this position anymore. Bearded Lord, thanks for the 80-month resub, broski. God, some of us have been here a while, haven't we? Nonetheless, hope you all keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Here's my question. Has Fonz gotten any kills with this? Unfortunately not. Did he just... Wait. Wasn't he right? Wasn't he just here? How did... But this is all a solid texture. How are you running down the stairwell when you were just... Actually, guys, fact check me here. Sanity check me. He was just right here, right? And then he was walking down the... How did he get from there to there so quickly? Like, maybe he would have had to walk around. But we didn't see that, did we? Oh, he's dead. God damn it, OFCRA. I was trying to figure out why he was a wizard, and you just immediately blow his face off. Well, he wasn't able to dodge that shot. That's for sure. Damn. Meanwhile, the bolt action marksman has gotten 2 kills compared to the freaking anti-material rifle. Oh my god. So yeah, Blue 4 just going to try to move up this open field and get plinked down each time, so... I think it's GG to OFCRA at this point. Then we also have to consider that 8-man survival bonus. Blue 4 are down to 2. With 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, no, 12. Oh, wait, no, 13, 14. The 2 in the back. Even then, that's 2 people here and 2 people back there that probably aren't going to be committed to fighting. So this force has to be reduced to the point one of these 4-man teams is completely wiped. Actually, it's a 5-man team. So, well, by the end of the game, I don't think Blue 4 is going to have that manpower. Whereas OFCRA, I mean, we got the 2-man here, we got the 3-man there, we've got this freaking giant-ass garrison, and then a few guys. Maybe the only way I see Blue 4 potentially winning this one is if the dive team flanks all the way around and then sneaks into the final objective without being noticed. There's a 1% chance of that working, but it's possible. Because that's the only way Blue 4 is going to win this one. What the fuck? It's always funny seeing 50 cal tear through sheds and everything because how Arma 3 considers building damage. So if you mag dump little sheds and whatnot that have low building health, it will just knock the building down entirely. It's the funniest thing. All right, 123, that'll be cashed in, so that is another 5.5 minutes away. But what did you guys think of this scenario? Because I always like to hear your feedback, because that also helps me in future OFCRA missions commentate. Because I always like more perspectives about everything, and I mean everything. I think this was actually, funnily enough, very well balanced for what it was. It just required Blue 4 to properly utilize their assets. There's a 20-minute call. I think the dive team was very, very well utilized. I don't think the Crows were as utilized as they should have been. One of them was utilized really well, but it got ambushed by an OPFOR hardpoint that Blue 4 wasn't, you know, they didn't have a unified team here to check everything. So an OPFOR hardpoint was able to snipe one of those vehicles early on, and then the APC pushed up way too ahead and got sniped by another OPFOR hardpoint that then quickly disengaged. So vehicle use for Blue 4 kind of dropped the ball. For OPFOR, they didn't really have anything special. They just had a few 50 cals to help suppress them. The helicopter, though, has been on point for the reconnaissance duty. I'll give them that much. Blue 4, I think, also did okay with their reconnaissance. They also used their helicopter as a transport for objectives, so that was done pretty well. But Blue 4's dive team, I think that's what really helped them smash a few of the defensive lines and go forward. But if the Crow systems Blue 4 had were utilized more effectively, it could have helped turn the tide here, because Crow systems excel at basically sniping out infantry from fortified positions from far away, because you literally look at them, hit the T key, it auto ranges, and then you just hold the mouse down for a second, and then enough bullets go out that are 50 cal that'll instantly headshot kill people. Crows are like super easy to use, but it's rare to see them effectively used in OFCRA. One of my gold standards, though, is Blue 4 also had a lot of magnified GPMGs. So they had 7.62 machine guns, medium machine guns, and then they also had some Elkin scopes on it. I always call them Elkin. I don't know if it's Eklund or Elkin, but whatever. And those magnifiers can also help you get headshots, because the Crow system, you can also, you know, hit the plus key and zoom in with it. So anything that helps you get magnification, especially if you're assaulting hardpoints or fighting through open terrain. Like, if you're defending, you use that against enemy forces moving through open terrain. If you're assaulting, it helps you clear out hardpoints where enemies are on rooftops and whatnot. You can easily pick them off. But again, I think the Crow systems were just underutilized for Blue 4 in this one, and that's what cost them the game. Because both sides had some really, really good tactics. You had Op4 teams working together to try to ambush what they can for Blue 4 on that side. You had a nice Blue 4 flank around, then you had some counterattacking by Op4. I think the infantry tactics for this one were very entertaining and very, very good. It just, we've come to an attrition fight by the end of the game, and the numbers just aren't in it for Op4. And I think that's because just out of all the infantry tactics, Op4 was just a little bit more effective compared to Blue 4, especially with the that opening flank. Even though it could have been a perfect wipe, that knocked out half of the insurgent team that then just all, you know, got hung out to dry when they tried to assault like 15, 20 minutes ago. I'm gonna be honest. What the heck? So Op4, they have the infantry to do crazy shit like this. I'm gonna be honest with you. Was that incredibly wasteful? Yes. Would I do something in their shoes after, what, sitting around for an hour and a half potentially doing nothing? Also yes. But that's still not gonna change the game because Op4 have really powerful hard points that are gonna stop any Blue 4 from coming in. Ah, looks like Blue 4 ran around. They found the truck that was in the water over there, and they used it to knock down the fence and drive up. So now we're going to see a few Blue 4 try to move into the positions, maybe even rush in. We could also see this dive team come around on the side and also move in. They could just get a few guys in here. All right, Blue 4 just went from a 1% chance to like a 5% chance. And I think they're about to go back to 1% in a moment. This is the kill zone you probably wanted to avoid. Okay. He was trying to serpentine and then someone just bitch slapped him with AT. 100% chance of hilarity, yeah. It's Arma 3 PvP, baby. That's always going to happen. But I think Blue 4 just went back down to a 1% chance with that one. That was amusing, though. I love how he's swimming away now, but my God. Yeah, they had the opportunity to flank. Let's look at the crossing points. They could have crossed right here, and then they could have just driven down this way. But I think, based off of the time, there's only 20 minutes. Maybe they felt they need to rush in, but at the same time... Well, let's look at the map. Where is a crossing point here? It's not till all the way up here. So they were forced to go that way, or they could have dismounted and crossed it on foot. By, like, driving up somewhere over here, getting some trees, going around, and then coming around from the, that wide area. Closest position they could have done was probably, like, right here and then moved in. Or they could have done it here and then gone up to this footbridge and immediately climbed on it, moved around, but I think they just wanted to move up with the vehicle to potentially get right on top of the point and dismount, and since they couldn't do that immediately, they just went for that, hoping for the best. I lost my train of thought. Just by seeing that, I got excited because I thought maybe Blue 4 could counter, but nah, we just saw a vehicle try to serpentine bullets, and then Mr. AT4 blew up in their face, quite literally. Looks like Maxic reconnected, though, so he's been on foot. But now alone, oh, he's fighting the texture. He's run into the same issue Nubas did. Scuba Team's on Blue 4's last bet. Oh, he's firing GLs. I'm going to be honest, a well-placed GL would cause a multi-kill here, but landing that... Let's look at his range. Let's go in the middle of these guys. Let's hover over him. That is a 334-meter shot, not including the elevation difference. So you'd probably have to range that. Oh, man, it's interesting to watch him try, though. He's getting just short. But now that Op4 knows what he's doing, they're all spacing out. I'd love to be able to eat my words here. I'd love to see a Blue 4 multi-kill. But he is also pushing... He was stopped by a light post. His AT... Again, there is a chance. These 4 need to just book it into this AO. They don't know it's open. They don't have the God view that we do. So they're going to try to cautiously go in. And, of course, that chopper is going to be up above, too. So if they get in there, it's going to be all luck. I think, realistically, they could get in there as 4 people, hold inside the building till the end of the game, and steal the game from OPFOR. As these guys hunker and pull all of OPFOR's attention away. Completely possible. Will it happen? No idea. Alexander's on 3 kills. I don't know if that's from the stolen 50 cal. I'm trying to look at where some bodies could potentially be. But I'm just not seeing any corpses at the moment. Maxix flanking around. We've got a little bit of the dive team right here. Looks like a little bit of server slowdown. That's okay. I can't tell if they're hopping the fence or what. There we go. It's like a disconnect catch-up. That's okay. And then Eagle, or Engel, excuse me, I think he's out. Because there's no way he's going to be able to get up there in time. It's all going to be up to the dive team, and then just Blue 4 doing a little bit of distraction at this point. Hold on, they're calling this real quick. But yeah, will the lag save Blue 4? Exactly. They're going to let the server catch up. I don't know, like, looking at Blue 4's position here, they're in the tall grass. Looks like they hopped the fence. 3 of them are in the zone here, so I think that little bit of desync saved them and got them a little closer to the objective, and now it's a straight shot, but you got this chopper flying overhead. This is what's going to change the game, is if these 2 guys notice anything. But Blue 4 has to make sure they don't fire a shot when they get in. But they got 10 minutes to make a move. They just got to be quiet as a church mouse. They can sneak in from right here, and they got a straight shot to the objective, and no one... Oh, maybe the 50 cal catches them. Got a Blue... Wow. OPFOR carrying an OPFOR body there. So I guess, are these guys suppressed? Because maybe they could shoot the gunner out. Yeah, they've got one suppressor on the MP7 there. I could see Blue 4, if they identify this vehicle, they could move over. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, they forgot to remove the weapon safeties. And immediately we see Blue 4 getting picked off. I see Blue 4's plan was to cause some lag on the server to get their units in position. One of them has a Moz. Here's the thing, though. They only need to engage the Moz, this vehicle, if it hurts them. They can otherwise just cross through, because if they fire it, that's going to poke the Hornet's nest. Oh, but they've been spotted. That's one knockout. You see the other guy's coming around the corner. Moz round goes into the MRAP. Causes some damage. Doesn't cook it off, because it's designed to take AT shots like that. Oh my god. Now OPFOR, they're pulling some forces back. We got Juliet immediately pulling back. They're going to go for the objective. I think Blue 4 just lost their opportunity here. But with that little fault in the weapon safeties... Oh, I think it's game. I think Juliet's going to get in there and hold from these forces. They're able... Yep. Blue 4's not able to move through this open kill zone. They've got other OPFOR members coming around to flank them here. It's over. It's over for Blue 4. Wait a minute. Command has come up in the Milan vehicle. See, they're not doing any of that serpentine bullshit. They're just gunning it because they know that's all they can do. Can the commander of Blue 4 channel his inner Rodrihado and bypass all of the OPFOR defenders to drive right into the AO and win the match for Blue 4? Let's let him cook. Hard left turn. That's the... Okay. 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 I think they cooked a little too long there.
Send it.
Okay.
Team 6.
TT, thanks for the 55-month resub, buddy. Hope you keep enjoying the operation so we get a nice kick out of this scenario. Marty gets knocked out. It's Najapar as ground command coming up. He gets nicked in the legs. Blue 4 have a few guys down to the south. Ash got hit by Maxic. OPFOR now have boots on the ground on the objective. Mission will end in 7 minutes. No, 6 minutes. 6 minutes, 15 seconds. You know, the funny thing is, numbers-wise, Marty wakes back up. Hold on. A little bit of blind suppression. Thankfully, Marty didn't get up to take it in the face. That would have been bad. We're coming very down to the wire. OPFOR could still pop some smoke and rush in. Looks like Philip is trying to do that. A little bit of AT just made Newison knock to his feet. Oh no, he's climbing down a ladder. That's why Symbol's moving that way. Well, look at that. Some people that were folded back here. 2 machine gunners, mind you, got picked off. Maybe Blue 4 could still pull a win out of this. We need to see smoke go on the MSR, though. But, oh, wait. No, we're seeing that. They're trying. Got some counter maneuvers from OPFOR, though. They're trying to find more Overwatch positions. They might get tunneled on Blue 4 in the back here, so that might allow for some room for them to come over. But can they? I'm curious to see if that helicopter is going to land and dismount those 2 infantry just to help out. Ash finally gets found and double tapped. We got some shooters from that office building still trying to eliminate these guys. Oh, Nicholas gets sniped by another Nick. I doubt Engel's going to get some shots here, but I find that really funny that he found a position to engage Hamster here. Or Hampter, excuse me, there's no S. He hit him a few times, though, and completely stopped his forward progress, so that's great. Now the 50 cal's active. It's going to start firing in. Jonathan gets taken out. I think that's over. It's over. Map's name is Sugar Lake. It's really good for some small-scale and even mid-scale combat. I wouldn't put more than 40 people on this map, though. I have in the past. It's a little laggy, but that was also without the latest hyper threat updates, so could be a bit better. Roger Sip gets a noob tube. That's the way to go, though. And Blue 4 is down to Maxek. Can Maxek channel his inner Adriano and win the match for Blue 4? Because he's literally the last guy alive. No, he can't. Final score is going to be Blue 4 got 2 points for the Legionary to bring him to the hotel. OPFOR are going to be at 1 point for the barracks, 1 point for the armory, 3 points for the final objective, the command station, and then 2 points for the survivor bonus. So it's going to be 7-2 to OPFOR. We will be back in a few hours for POG. I'll hopefully see you there. Tomorrow we'll have FNF. I don't know what else we'll be doing. Definitely some DayZ, but the Namalsk server's closing, which breaks my heart, but whatever, what can I do? Yeah, USA saved this one. I mean, it came close. It was similar to last week with the Greenland invasion. I think I like the asset choice and the balance of power a bit more in this mission, though. Poor man's just trying to crawl up here. He's going to spot Watts. Oh, put the magnifier on. You're going to need it for that. Oh, by the way, for those of you watching POG, pay for pain elements are going to be frozen for 2 weeks. We'll pick it up again next month. That doesn't mean I'm going easy on them, mind you, but yeah. Yeah, Alice is on the radio, and he just heard that, so now he's trying to get grenades over. But he's got literally a minute remaining. Not enough time. Keep crawling, buddy. You can make it. Oh, that GL was super short. Come on, buddy, you can do it. And there it is. Oh, the legionary was worth 3 points instead of 2, but yeah. It doesn't matter. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the game. Thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Be back in a few hours. Otherwise, cheers. Have a good one.